Hello students, I am Dr. Papori, Assistant Professor in English, Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, Assam Downtown University. Today's topic of our discussion is tense. All of us are aware of more or less we are aware about the tense or the tenses that are there in English language. What are those? And as we know, there are three types of tenses. Firstly, the present tense, next, past tense, and future tense. Tense play a crucial role in the English language. It denotes the time and action, and an action takes place whether sometime in the past, in the present, or will take place in sometime in the future. So it is about the time of the action, when the action takes place, whether it is in the past, present, or future. So present tense, the first form of first type of tense, let us discuss about it. Simple present, again, present tense is divided into four parts: simple present tense, present perfect tense, present continuous tense, present perfect continuous tense. So these are the four forms into which again present tense is divided. Simple present tense indicates an action that is generally true or habitual. That is, it took place in the past, continue to take place in the present, and will take place in the future. This tense is used to denote a habitual action. For instance, you walk to school. General truths, for instance, the sun rises in the east. Honesty is the best policy. A future event that is part of a fixed timetable, for instance, the match starts at 9 o'clock. So these are some examples and the uh, instances when we use the simple present tense. So this again, this may be this may we may use as the one. First is the affirmative rule, where we have the example of she writes a letter. This is simple present. Negative rule, she does not write a letter. Interrogative rule, does she write a letter? All these three examples are examples of simple present tense. So we move on to the next type of present tense, that is present continuous tense. It indicates an action that started in the past and is continuing at the present. For example, he has been sleeping for an hour. So this is the verb sleep. The when one of the notable things is that in present continuous tense, the verb always is in the form of ing form. In the ing form, so it is used to express an action that is taking place at present. And here we have examples. She is writing a letter. She is not writing a letter. Is she writing a letter? All these are examples of present continuous tense. Now we have present perfect tense. The present perfect tense indicates an action that has been completed sometime before the present moment with a result that affects the present situation. For example, he has finished the work. He has slept. These are examples of present perfect tense. It is used to show an action that has started in the past and has finished, has just finished. Okay, and more examples here. You can see she has written a letter. She has not written a letter. Has she written a letter? These are also examples of present perfect tense. Now, present perfect continuous tense. So, as the name goes, here it is the combination of perfect and continuous tense forms of tense, present tense. We when we use present perfect continuous tense, it is used to indicate an action that started in the past and is continuing at the present time. For example, He has been sleeping for an hour. So that person who is sleeping has been sleeping for an hour. That means the person is still sleeping. It has started in the past but is still continuing in the present. That is why it is present perfect continuous tense. And here we have more examples. She has been writing a letter for 2 hours. She has not been writing a letter for 2 hours. She has not been writing a letter for 2 hours. And she been writing a letter for 2 hours. These are some examples of present perfect continuous tense. Now we move on to another type of tense, that is past tense. We will learn about past tense. Past tense is also divided into four subcategories. That is, first is the simple past. Simple past indicates an action that took place before the present moment and that has no real connection with the present time. It also speaks about one single action that has happened in the past. For example, he danced in the function. So that action that is past does not continue in the present. It is an action of the past. The examples: she wrote a letter. She didn't write a letter. Did she write a letter? All these are examples of simple past tense. Now, past continuous tense. Past continuous tense indicates an action going on at some time in the past or an action in the past that is longer in duration than another action in the past. For example, it was getting darker. The light went out while they were reading. So, past continuous tense denotes an action that was going on sometime in the past. The examples here: she was writing a letter. She was not writing a letter. She was writing a letter. So, was she writing a letter? So, these are some examples of past continuous tense. Now, past perfect tense. What past perfect tense is? Past perfect tense indicates an action in the past that had been completed before another time or event in the past. For example, he had exercised before it started to rain. He had slept before I came back from the market. So, past, as we know, this is a type of the past tense. So the work, the action has already completed in the past and it has taken usually a long time. It has been completed a long time ago. And if two actions happened in the past perfect is used to show the action that took place earlier. That means before. When we say he had slept before I came back from the market. So the before part, what has been, if two actions take place, the action that has been completed before will be in the past perfect form. For example, here we will read, she had written a letter before I asked to. She had not written a letter before I asked to. Had she written a letter before I asked to? So these are the examples of past perfect tense. Past perfect continuous tense. Past perfect continuous tense indicates an action in the past that took place before another time or event in the past and continued during the second event time point in the past. For example, at the time, he had been writing a novel for 2 months. He had been exercising when I called. So here also, as we have read in case of present tense, past perfect continuous tense is a combination of the perfect and continuous. So here it is used to denote the action that began before a certain point in the past and continued up to some time in the past. That means it has started and continued for some time. Like here example is given. She had been writing a letter since morning. She had not been writing a letter since morning. Had she been writing a letter since morning? So these are the examples of past perfect continuous tense. Now we come to the future tense. When we speak about future, we already know that this is something that is related to things that has not happened but are supposed to happen. So here let us understand what simple future tense is. Future tense is also divided into 4 subcategories like the other two forms types of tense. Firstly, simple future tense. It indicates an action that will take place after the present time, and that has no real connection with the present time. So it has no connection with the present time. It is supposed to take place after the present time. For example, she will visit her ailing grandmother soon. He will walk home. So here we come to know that this action has not been completed or has not happened or not occurred. It is going to take place sometime in the future, one action. And here we have examples. She will write a letter. She will not write a letter. Will she write a letter? These are the examples of simple future tense. Now let us know what future continuous tense is. It is an action in the future that is longer in duration than another action in the future. For example, he will be walking when it starts to rain. So this is again, as it is about something that is uh, future, this is kind of a prediction. So here when we say he will be walking when it starts to rain, that means the person will be walking, but certainty of that action is not mentioned. He may be walking, that means he will be walking when it starts to rain. It is expected that the person will be walking when it rains. Here we have more examples. She will be writing a letter. She will not be writing a letter. Will she be writing a letter? When we speak about continuous tense, whether it is past, present or future, we note that the verb will always be in the ing form. Next is future perfect tense. It indicates an action in the future that will have been completed before another time or event in the future. For example, by the time we arrive, he will have studied. So this is again a supposingly considered state that um, the person will be studying, will have studied by the time they arrive. And here we have example that they will have shifted the house by Sunday morning. So this is kind of an action which is considered to which is considered as if it will take place sometime in the future. So here we have more examples. She will have written a letter. She will not have written a letter. Will she have written a letter? So these are the examples of future perfect tense. Next category is future perfect continuous tense. What is future perfect continuous tense? It is the tense that indicates an action in the future that will have been continuing until another time or event in the future. For example, he will have been exercising an hour at 2. So as this is another type of future tense, so this is something that is also considered that it will happen sometime in the future. It is about it is also a combination of the combination of perfect and continuous tense, and it is believed that that person will be exercising, will have been exercising. That means the action will have been continuing for some moment till another moment. Another other examples we have here is she will have been writing a letter. She will not have been writing a letter. Will she have been writing a letter? These are the examples of future continuous tense. And these are basically the tenses and its forms that we need to know and remember. Thank you for listening.